Welcome back to the WGLNA Season 2 Gold League. I'm your host, Christian Toma. To my left, that's David Williams. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and YouTube /WGLNA. If you're not watching this on battleviewer.com, go over there right now and check it out. And finally, follow us on Twitter @WGLNA so you guys can stay up to date on what's happening in the community around you and answer for us the question of the day,
which is, who's your best battle buddy?
All right, Mark, Tim, got to do a shout out to you guys. David, you're my battle buddy here, but as always, Badco.
Yep. I'm going to keep mixing up my answers.
Oh.
I've already answered you.
Yeah.
I've already answered Badco.
Right.
I've already answered Canadian Impact.
Ute?
This time, nope. Nope. It's not really a battle buddy so much. I'm going to go with Trevor.
Trevor. Admin Trevor.
The man behind the curtain.
That's right. You guys.
That makes everything just work.
The reason you guys see the tanks in the game is because of him.
And there is definitely an aspect in which we are truly battle buddies.
There we go, guys. So let us know on Twitter who is your best battle buddy. Now we have the two matches, Aquatic MC versus Noble, where Noble picked that victory up once you guys just saw Eclipse beating Googly Bobbers. But now it is SIMP versus Simple Tankers, and the face-off is ready. On the side of SIMP, Overlord Prime. On the side of Simple Tankers, we've got J Smooth. Gentlemen, welcome to the face-off. Overlord Prime. Gonna go ahead and start over with you guys on SIMP. Congratulations, first of all, on your victory against Noble on Tuesday. Now, my question is, going into that, right, you guys saw the two maps you guys were playing on. You guys saw Mines, you guys saw Cliff. In your heads, before the game started, which one were you more confident against Noble facing against?
I think we were more confident on Cliffs than we were on Mines, mostly because, as a team, we're very confident in our brawling skills in a 1v1 situation or as a group effort. And as you saw in all those Cliffs battles, we all just ran headfirst into each other, and basically it was just an all-out brawl every single time.
Yeah, it was great.
It was fun to watch.
It was great. So, Prime, you've kind of already answered this question, but I'll ask you a slightly different version. Who is your best battle buddy?
You mean for me in the team?
This could be. No, it could be. It doesn't have to be tanks. It could be in life in
Life.
general. If you want to give a shout out to your mom,
my
I'm
mom.
sure she'd appreciate it.
My mom, battle buddy.
I think it's best to keep it tank related, but the sad part about that though is I don't actually have a battle buddy in the game. Even my own team admits that I suck at the team sharing, team HP sharing, and all that stuff. So they actually go out of their way to keep me out of the fight. They're like, Overlord, go over there. If you die, it's not really a big loss. Good luck, have fun, and I'm all on the outside of the map every single time.
That's a fun position to be in, though.
Sure,
We've
but
talked about that a couple times.
No battle
It's
buddies.
also why I like platooning with you, Prime, because it just doesn't matter. We go do our own things, and then the result is the result.
And then laugh.
Anyways, let's move on to Smooth.
All right, Jay.
Well, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Prime. Does that mean you talk to your shadow and stuff? What do you do there?
I look at the little birds in the sky that disappear due to excellent program.
Takes the moment to savor the beauty of life, Smooth.
All right.
Deep, David.
There's a lot to learn.
Gotcha.
Deep indeed. So, J Smooth, over to you. Now that you have all this, philosophy to think about. I mean, I'm sure if you'll be distracted, it's totally fine. The question is, just kind of coming from, I'm curious, now that SIMP has beaten and taken down Noble, I mean, how much more does that fuel you guys to want to take them down tonight?
It's the next team up. We gave up one Tuesday, and so everything is game on. It's the standings are way too close, so we're back into our normal position of win every night, ready to rock and roll and get dangerous.
Yeah, take them to the danger zone. Well, I can't wait to see that tonight.
Get dangerous. I love that. I like that almost more than the danger zone.
Yeah,
honestly.
get dangerous. That sounds
Get
cool.
dangerous.
Just get dangerous.
So who's your favorite, or I guess who's your best battle buddy? J Smooth.
Well, I'm telling you what, I heard you guys talking, and I took one right through the heart when no one said my name. So,
I'm sorry.
yeah, you're to blame for that one.
Yeah.
Shoot.
See, he
I
said
don't
you're
know.
to blame.
Yeah, not you. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm fine.
yeah.
Oh, total me. That's on me, J Smooth.
Well, forget you guys then. I'm going to go old school, and I'm going to say Clutch was my battle buddy because we were both the Top Gun honks.
All right.
Fair enough.
Good, yeah, good. Hey, battle buddies are battle buddies. Past, present, future.
You guys meet up and play volleyball every once in a while? I'm going to leave that.
Yeah, we
hanging
take timeouts.
All right. So before we get into the battle, Overlord Prime, is there anything I'd like to say to J Smooth before we get started?
All right, so J Smooth, I'm pretty sure you know I used to be in Hammer Time, and back in the day, we always went to a tiebreaker against you guys, and it happened last season when we formed up into SIMP. So tonight, let's make it a real match. No tiebreakers, 5-0 or nothing.
Wow.
Good luck, have fun.
J Smooth, your response.
Well, don't turn around and run away then.
All right.
No. No, we're ready to go.
Challenge taken.
We're ready to play the Hammer Time Refuse Simp mashup, whatever you guys call yourself over there now. And yeah,
Wow.
so we're ready to rock and roll. Backs up against the wall. Good games against you guys. And as always, we'll see you in the danger zone.
Gentlemen, we'll see you
Good luck,
guys
have fun.
both in the danger zone. Best of luck to both of you. We'll see you shortly. That's a nice little. Anyway,
I really enjoyed that.
yeah, it's fun.
Overall.
Good-
So we just saw Overlord
stuff.
Prime. Photo Finish is also a good pick from their team, along with E63 M6. Then for Simple Tankers, Pub Whisperer, still a good player, but not really a standout in the points this time around. Lately, it has been Pride and Executus are two of the standouts. Well, actually, here we go. Again,
Photo
this
Finish and Executus.
wonderful fantasy side. We could potentially see Cliff. Not surprising that they like to play that one after last night. You could also see Pro Rovka.
Yeah.
Should also see some T22s. Photo Finish and Executus being the top two from those. And that's a nice little thing to see. You bring up your own stat page and all you see,
See
is
win,
wins.
win, win. It's got to be feeling good for Simp. So, this is why I'm so excited to see this matchup tonight. Just like you said with Jay Smooth, just going back from he's like, we were ready to win. They said we lost it big time on Tuesday, and they want to come back and prove themselves. And this is funny enough. This is what exactly Overlord Prime said. A couple matches ago. Guys, we just haven't been playing as we should be. We want to give the fans what we want, and we're ready to play. So seeing both these teams with that same mentality come against each other, I'm really excited to see.
It was also interesting, we asked Jay Smooth about playing Simp and does that make any difference, and his response was, they're just the next team on
night.
the list.
Right.
So we talked about before, you got to do what you can do best, and it depends. Sometimes there are teams you can kind of counter-strat against, but in the current format, I don't see that being as much of a thing. You look for tendencies, maybe adjust yourself a little bit, but no big gimmicks, nothing to go really exploit something in anybody else. So good philosophy.
Keep
from
it up.
Smooth.
Keep it up, guys. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our third match of the night is about to get underway. It is Simp versus Simple Tankers, starting out on Mines. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks.
Smooth's A through L may not be as settled. I just totally mixed up the alphabet. Awesome. Let's move on. Simp with 113, a bat shot, 2 T22s, a TVP, an E50, and a T55A. Simple Tankers with 2 260s, 2 T22s, a TVP, and a T10, along with us go to T50. And I was hurrying that up because I really thought they were about to
Go ahead.
mix it up in the middle.
Oh, looks
But
like
it's just
Crimson
gonna be
Corsair,
Crimson.
though. In that bad shot, he is lit up. A lot of damage. 963 going on to him. They don't quite get the pickup in there, but that is dropping the bad shot down to half health. And it looks like Simple Tankers is going to continue their push over this hill. Drynet's taking the shot there, taking some damage to no one, getting some response to Droxus. And Overlord Prime now, from that spot we see on Lighthouse, going to be able to start letting those shots go in that T22 onto the side of the hill and help us team out Zakumi in that 260 now, dropping below half. Pride being very lucky, bouncing a couple shots, looks like right there in the second. No one going very aggressive. He's just going out, trying to take the shots onto a Droxus, backing him up the hill, but Nitz fighting on no one in that E50, and now Crimson Corsair has no more shots. Copy should be able to finish him off, but not before Photo Finish takes down J Smooth. 2 tanks down for Simple Tankers. None down for Simp. I thought Crimson Corsair down, but he is still alive, and Overlord Prime takes down Executus. That is 3 tanks in a row going down on the side of the defense here. Simp doing a fantastic job. Photo Finish finding Fleck. My goodness, left and right. Tanks are falling for Simple Tankers, and Crimson Corsair is still alive. He's almost on reload, and he's going to be able to start pumping out damage from a position on the hill unless he gets deleted himself. Coffee Thief taking the shot, turning his shirt to come try to get him 1,000 points damage. One more shot. He should be able to find it. Coffee Thief shouldn't be able to shoot him in time. E63M6 picking that one up, and now it is just Pride alive. Every single member of Simp remained and taken out all 7 of Simple Tankers. That is 1 victory for Simp. I'm just getting ready for tonight to confuse both of these names multiple times, and their camp was
No,
kind of similar.
because remember, it's Simp and Lay Tankers.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense. So congratulations to Simp picking their first victory up there against Lay Tankers. Now, oh yeah, we'll stop that. But kind of looking at what that happened, I mean, Crimson Corsair made it on top of the hill.
Yep.
About half health.
Yep.
Unloaded his full clip.
Yep.
And I'm assuming stats stay that. Because we want to go to stats.
Yep.
All right.
E63M6, T22, 2886. 10 shots out, 10 penetrated. Perfect 10 for E63. I'm excited about that because he's earning me them fantasy points. Crimson Corsair, 7 shots out, 6 penetrated, 2370. The 113, I wonder how much he bounced. Only 1 shot. Surprising, because that's kind of like the whole purpose of him. But either way, he got 4 kills and 2200 damage. Overlord Prime. Anybody got any special outlying stats? Not really. 7 alive, 7 dead. That is #1 way to win the game, obviously.
We've seen this twice tonight. It's a great strat.
Simp is feeling dangerous.
Yeah.
That's what I see.
Yeah.
That went head-to-head. There was a moment where Simple Tankers could have pulled up a little bit more and gotten a 1-shot finished off the Bat Chat.
Okay.
That may have been worth the HP trade because the Bat Chat came back to cause problems.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff. It looked like they were operating a strategy fairly well according to plan, getting that early shot, then moving up, trying to take advantage of it, leaving a space for the tanks to go up, because if you're actually there at the rock and they try and come up, they'll probably stop. So it looks like they were baiting and getting everything they wanted. They just didn't hit the shots overall. They didn't execute as well, or Simp just bossed them right out of it.
Now, one of the things we also talked about last season, how important it was to maybe easier it was to track the opponent who was going across the hill there. Because if you get 1 track shot on him and then your team just lets go, a lot harder to do in Tier 10.
Yes.
All right, simple answer, because now we're going into the next match. Simp is up 1-0 against Simple Tankers. We've switched sides. Let's go right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks.
Simp with an IS-7, Bat Chat, 2 907s, 2 T-22s, and an RU-251. Lay Tankers with 2 IS-7s, an E5, and STB, 2 T-22s, and an RU-251 as well.
All right, here. Let's see if we have another hill fight, because Overlord Prime, you guys just heard in the face-off saying they are very confident with their team's brawling skills. That's why they liked, they felt more confident bringing the map to Cliff against Noble on Tuesday. And it proved well. So, I mean, if I were some Tankers, I would definitely be wary of Simp right now in a brawl. Crimson Corsair going for the same thing. Let's see if he can make it up on top. A lot of damage there, but still, he gets through. Not enough response there for Simple Tankers. Definitely above half health in the Bat Chat.
Crimson Corsair's turret was locked in one direction, so to be facing his enemy as he drove up in order to minimize the amount of damage he takes. Less effective with a Bat Chat, but still matters. Just good habits, good play.
All right, Flak, and now taking some damage to Droxus, takes a good chunk there in that 907. Flak and the RE251 over there on the lighthouse, but now he is spotted and getting lit up there. Looks like Dryness just kind of doing some of that as well. Now, looking kind of at this side for the defensive portion, where Dryness is at, is there any way he can get shots on the hill if there was a hill fight to break out, or does he just have to drive through?
Yes, he can, actually.
Okay.
That's a very similar place to where we saw Aggressor in the 07 versus Caller Wanted match, if I remember correctly. Aggressor took a spot over close to where Dryness is, was able to get those shots on anybody who was behind the rock right here. If you can see it on the cursor, you can fire straight through that. Or you can take this angle and fire kind of through there, not so much in this area. But it's still very effective, and for an RU-251, a great place to be. Plus, he can also flank up the side, come around behind, all sorts of stuff. He's just got a 2-shot flak in his way, so yeah, not long now. Simp's just going to look for some free damage opportunities. If Crimson plays it very, very carefully, he can get a lot of good shots on these guys. Looks like he took his chance, made maybe 1 connection, otherwise bounced a few, or didn't connect on any of them, didn't really get a good look at it, but either way, he is clipping. He's going to go back. I would expect then Simp to, well, 1 of 2 things. Pretty obvious. You're either going to hold the line, wait for Simple Tankers to sacrifice some more HP on him, or Crimson will go back similar to where he was and wait, hope see he can get that damage on him before Simp initiates on their own. But the standoff I'm seeing right now, there's no reason for Simp to do that. In fact, there's one main reason why they shouldn't, and it's Executus and that STB all the way there in the back at A4. For as long as he is there, aggressing onto the northern side of that hill is a problem.
But they see him coming off.
It's also an issue for the Bat Chat. Now, Crimson, again, doing something smart here, coming around to the eastern side to make sure nobody is flanking, which is where unknown mediums or an RU-251 or whatever would come from. He could turn his hull around so he could drive away back towards the correct angle faster, but nitpicky things either way. It's a great position for him to be in, and it does look like Simple Tankers is starting to get a little bit more momentum to come over the middle. Nope. It looks like Flak and Executus are actually going to hit the brakes, or sorry, hit the gas, go around the outside where Crimson Corsair lies in wait already.
Look at that here. Flak, though, still unspotted. Again, just a reminder, guys, you will see their names turn yellow. They've been spotted by the tanks. Now both of them have simultaneously the Bat Chat for Simp and the RU251 for Simple Tankers. One shot going through. Flak trying to respond. There's 359 points of damage. Flak got to be careful. Let's see if he can find cover in time. It looks like he's going to use this house here, and he should be safe for now. Just holding on with 118 points of damage there. No! Adrox is killing it in that 907, and that is going to be the first tank falling.
And counter push is the only option left.
So Simple Tank now pressuring all that they have over the top of the hill. Let's see if they can find some picks. Overlord Prime taking some shots there. East 3M6 as well, and that T22 didn't work out for Simple Tankers. Can it work out this time? Crimson Corsair still has 2 more shots. There's one more. He might be able to finish off Zakumi by himself. He does with this final shot of the bat chat, taking down an IS-7. Now he's just going to back out and wait. 2 tanks falling for Simple Tankers. Simp still has all 7 of theirs. Unknown one getting shot now from the back. Dryness able to go all the way around now to the enemy's spawn and start letting those shots fly into the back of them. Executives does find a kill, picking up photo finish. But now it looks like Simp is surrounded, and it is just a matter of time here. Dryness taking down Unknown one. Stein Pride getting beautifully focus fired there by Simp. Over 600 points of damage there. Going into that T22. Coffee Thief taking shots from behind. Now it's almost like they just realized, like, oh, we're also getting shot from the RU251 from the back. Let's try to go deal with him. Coffee Thief being sent off the hill there, but he is spotted the whole time. Dryness going now to head-to-head. A T22 versus RU251. No, he taking a shot there onto Executives, actually. Nitz finishes off J-Smooth. with Coffee Thief going in. A little bit of a ram damage there. 599 with a follow-up shot. Should be able to finish Dryness off. But meanwhile, the rest of his team has gone down on top of the hill. And this is going to be it for Coffee Thief. Simp driving very aggressively over the prime, going for the ram. Can he get it? Yes, he can. 17 points of damage is all that he had left. And it's going to be another victory for Simp against the Simple Tankers. Now, improvement, definitely, going from having all of your guys die, not killing 1, to killing 2, almost 3. They got a little bit of a closer. Like you said, you had the count. I mean, that's just basic things. That's like, I know that wasn't their strat. But if you look in the brawl kind of settings, maybe getting closer there. Did they just lose that again right in the beginning when they let Crimson Corsair get up on top of the hill with taking no damage? Is it pretty much decided in the beginning before anything even starts?
Not necessarily, but it's step 1 of a number of things.
Okay.
Losing the RU-251, not necessarily having an alternative plan, getting stuffed in the middle. They're too focused on the middle. If they can't win that fight, they really need to try something else. A lot of different ways of looking at it, honestly. They're getting outplayed.
Well, it
it's
seems
one
like
of the biggest things.
It also
Head
like
to
Simp
head,
was just
positional play,
ready for him.
Skill shots, they're getting outplayed.
Yeah.
So strategy is, while it's a factor, not as
not
big a
everything
factor.
right now.
So let us gaze at the numbers on this page. Overlord Prime with the 2700 out of his T22.
Wow.
Crimson Corsair with 2400. Great game. E63 M6 with the T22 as well, 2282. Very consistent to see the T22 is kind of rising towards the top here. 907 starting to appear to be more and more the favorite heavy tank by a lot of these teams. I played it a couple times, still not entirely sure why that is favored over some of the other tanks. I'll have to take a closer look at it because I've always liked the IS-7, but perhaps just because it's different. I don't know. We'll see. Coffee Thief, the only thief that is not on high voltage.
Yeah.
2700 and a T22.
I think it's brilliant,
Unknown
though.
one with 2000 and Pride with 1500.
Using that name just in case when they do play high voltage, they can confuse them, hopefully briefly, for a second there. But now that we're switching sides and Simp is up 2 again, we talked about, yes, there's the benefit of going back and forth. There's not a lot of as much psychological pressure as being down, 2 on offense and then coming back on defense. But now that you are down 2 in this meta, it'll be interesting to see if we start seeing Simple Tankers go on tilt, or if they'll be able to come back and pick up a victory and hopefully try to claim that right now from Simp. As we're going into the next battle, Simp is up 2-0. Let's go right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks.
What we've got is sort of 113, 2 bat shots, 2 T22s, 2 Skoda T50s. For Simple Tankers, 2 T60s, 2 T22s, 1 TVP, 1 T10, 1 T50.
We sort of talked about, I remember last season, certain situations that can cause more tilt than others. And one of them is being, when you go to a head-to-head fight and you kind of lose in the brawl, it's not as much as an issue to your team as if you have a strategy that you planned out and then you get hit hard with that.
Yes, unless somebody just failed horrendously in the brawl. Basically, what gets bad is if one person starts taking most of the blame. So if it's the caller for a bad strategy or one player caught himself out, that player or that person starts doubting themselves and it just snowballs. It gets worse and worse and worse. Unless that player rises up and just puts on a great game the next time, and then everything's fixed.
All right. Well, We'll see if that becomes a factor here, because right now what we see Simp doing is putting 3 members over on the Western cap, dropping the cap down to 15 seconds here. We'll see if this is going to be enough. We saw Noble try this. Did not work out for him, I believe. They tried it against Simp, so it looks like Simp is trying to do the same thing.
Simp already has better containment overall. They've got players all the way down in the southwest. They're getting shots into Zakumi from the bat shots. Better tanks and better places overall.
3 seconds on the clock. Simple Tankers has to push. It's going to be Zakumi to take the shot there that he needs. It's 0 seconds. He missed the clock, or he missed the shot. The clock goes down, and Simp with a very quick assault time on mines. That was over in like a minute. I mean, fantastic for them. Their 3rd victory now against Simple Tankers. Man, if this goes into overtime, I'm pretty sure that would be considered the fastest assault. I mean, unless Simple Tankers can come back and do something crazy, but very good, very decisive. And you talked about the difference there between what Noble tried against them on Tuesday and what they just did now is their positionings. Was it mainly the guys on the 1 line that got down to the southern cap? Is that the position that Noble was looking for they didn't quite get when they tried that?
Yes, they got stuck behind that rock. They didn't go all the way down to the K1. They didn't bring bat shots for it, which is better if you're committing hard to the cap fast and worse if you're trying to make it last longer. I'd probably be favored of the bat shot. That's something I'm gonna have to think about for a while. Maybe a mix. Either way, I'm not going to go statistically this time.
A lot happened.
You saw what happened, so instead I will tell you who got the most because that's what you're worried about.
Cool.
I know it. Executus,
Good.
nearly 1,300. Nobody else broke 1,000 for that team. Nobody else broke 500 for Simple Tankers.
Wow.
For Simp, it's Crimson Corsair in first, and E63M6 right behind him. Both of those are about 1,400. Everybody else for Simp barely breaking, well, not breaking 700.
No, yeah. So, yeah, not a lot of damage dealt that battle. As you saw, Simp just doing a cap fast strategy and it working well.
Yep.
Which is it's so fun to watch that, too, because we don't usually see a lot of teams go for that. We see, like, yeah, use the cap as pressure, use the cap to draw them to you, but, like, just like, hey, let's try to end this in 60 seconds. And that's got to be... Is that another situation where maybe the 3rd tilt generating?
That is a tilt generator.
Yeah.
That right there. That kind of, that messes with morale so bad.
Just to get into a battle and then have it be over like that.
Yeah, and some teams aren't emotional. Not really.
Okay.
And they don't expect to win as much. I always viewed it as the factor of passion. The people who care the most tend to get the most upset. Most of the time. There are some people who tend to be fairly calm. So apparently, anyway, what I'm getting at is that match, what some people would do in that situation is they would then try to be super aggressive in response. We just got punched in the eye, basically.
Let's do it to them.
We got to send it back to them. We got to take their morale out. But that's do or die.
Oh, because if you miss, then it's way
over.
down.
But if you're already down, I mean, if they fail it this time, they lose. It's 3-0. Now is the time to go big or go home, in my opinion. And for the record, that match was 1.25 minutes long.
All right, well, let's see if this is Simple Tankers' time to go big or go home, or will Simp continue their domination? Let's go right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks.
Or was it 1 minute and 25 seconds?
I think
125 or 115?
125. Yeah.
So, Simp has an I-7, a bat shot, 2 907s, 2 T-22s, and RU-251. Simple Tankers have 2 I-7s, a bat shot, 2 T-22s, a T-50, and a T-10. Now, this is what we were talking about. Go big or go home. Simple Tankers got to take that momentum right back, and they're going to try going straight for the hill.
They're going to find Crimson Corsair. Executus is going to beat him there, and this is the first time Simp is not going to get control of the hill. A fantastic play for Simple Tankers there, getting Executus up there in the bat chat. But now, what can they do to turn this into a win? Again, this was step 1 last time for Simp. Let's see what step 2 is for Simple Tankers. And now that Simp is kind of slowly backing off here. They have, though, sacrificed that lighthouse position, they being Simple Tankers. There we go. Then last time, in the RE-251 for Simp is in that position you guys see in the mini-map, the H1. So he will be able to get those shots there onto the hill. That'll be interesting to watch Executus and see kind of how he's able to benefit his team right now. He's now moving over. He's going to spot out Crimson Corsair, who was going to be going for, I don't know if he was going for a flanker or something, but now that he has spot out, that is more information for Simple Tankers. And maybe a less bit of a surprise there for Simp. Crimson has to be careful there. Took a little bit of damage, barely hovering above half health. And David, now that you're kind of seeing the positions Simple Tankers are in and where Simp is at, what do you think Simp's response is going to be?
They're going to have to try and pour right over the middle unless they're just willing to sacrifice the bat shot, because the bat shot's going to go down any time now. Executus is going to be clipping the Skoda T50 as soon as he gets lit. It's going to make this opportunity much more clear to Simp. But they're taking a lot of damage off photo finish, so they're really quickly losing the ability to counter initiate.
Wow.
Now. It could very well look like counter. Simp's just going to kind of decompose over the length of this game.
All right, Flack taking some damage though in that T22. Coffee Thief taking the shot, nothing connecting. J-Smooth taking some damage as well. He came around to come help Executus find Crimson. Crimson getting all the shots out. Crimson is still alive with 41 points of HP because Executus is on the reload. But now that he's here, this is going to bring a lot of firepower onto the members of SIMP. And here goes the HP right now. The battle for the top of the hill has begun. Flack doing a good job firing his shots there from the T22. E63M6 is going down, but Overlord Prime is going to beat him to it. The first tank there falling for SIMP. Executus now going head-to-head against Drynitz. E63M6 picks up the bat chat. I'm not sure if all shots out or not. It'll be interesting to see there at the end, but the battle is still going, and no one finds Crimson Corsair. Adroxus will be going down to Zakumi. E63M6 just barely holding on there. Nitz does find Flack, but there are still 5 members of Simple Tankers against the 4 for SIMP, and the HP is a huge advantage for Simple Tankers. Over 3,000, 3,500 now as Zakumi takes down E63M6. Coffee Thief finds Nitz, and this looks like Simple Tankers' first victory in what might be their kind of morale regainer here against SIMP onto Mines, showing that they will not just be pushed over this entire battle. Drynitz, the last one alive. He goes down to J-Smooth, and that is the first victory for Simple Tankers there. Now, one of the things before we kind of talk about the specifics of what happened on top of the hill there, when I think it was Executus, like you were saying, was looking for the bat chat for SIMP, he was definitely, I'm pretty sure he was counting the shots because he knew once Executus fired his last one, and then he just booked it to try to make it back to his teammates in time. Unfortunately, J-Smooth came around, took him down. So beautiful communication for Simple Tankers, and that was the aggression we were talking about. The thing that they really needed to do to come back in this game instead of just getting bullied and bullied and bullied.
Pretty much, the difference is for SIMP is they now have a message if they made a mistake. So you always have to look at it from, or what I'm trying to do is look at it from their perspective, right? So this isn't actually how I see it. But SIMP could look at that and say, well, we made a mistake, and that's the only reason they were able to win, right? So that doesn't necessarily negatively affect their morale that much.
Sure.
But it does help Simple Tankers. Right. So it's not the massive blow that Simple Tankers needed or wanted, but it's a good start. Let's take a look at statistics.
All right.
Zakumi with 33.08 in the IS-7. Pride behind him with 24.57. Executus behind that with 19.72. Dang. Some fancy shooting, boys. Adroxus with 22.40 out of his 907. 22.26 out of E63M6 on his T22. No real standouts, no real attention-grabbing stuff. Well, that's not fair. Zakumi with 3,300 in IS-7.
A lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage for an IS-7. Oh, yeah, totally. He shot 8 times, penetrated 8. So perfect 8 out of him. And he also bounced 17, almost 1,800 damage off his IS-7.
Wow, that'll do it. Fantastic
Great
play.
game, Zakumi.
Fantastic play coming up for him there.
Sorry, no standouts besides Zakumi.
No, that's what I meant. No standouts besides the standout player. Now, what we thought, what I was actually kind of expecting was going to go from Mines onto Cliff, because that's what we saw happen against Noble and SIMP. But this time we're going from Mines now onto Ruinberg. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what both these teams bring to this map. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get right down into it. SIMP is up 3-1 against Simple Tankers. Can they make it 4? They are on defense. Let's get into it and see what we've got for our tanks.
SIMP with a 50B, 2215s, a T22, W100, and 2 Object 430 version 2s. Simple Tankers with a 215, 2 IS-7s, a 140, and 2 T22s, along with an RU-251.
All right, here now we've got Simple Tankers on the offense. I'm trying to think, from your perspective, David, if you were in both these players' position right now, I mean, obviously the 3-1 score, so you'd rather be SIMP, but how much more does it affect them that they're starting on defense? So this victory, if they can pick it up, puts them 4-1, which then they just
it's huge.
Yeah,
it's absolutely huge.
So it's just got to be Simple Tankers has a very, very steep hill to climb.
Oh, Flack. That is a rough situation to be in. Already spotted. Overlord Prime slipping by. Looks like SIMP isn't getting really bothered with it. Overlord Prime just spinning off a spare shot. That's a safe way of doing things. Make sure they're minimizing their overall amount of risk. Drynitz is going to move into the middle for the F-road. And aside from Overlord Prime having to go 1v3 inevitably soon here, SIMP is looking okay. I'm not a huge fan of that Object 430 all the way up at A4 unless he starts getting some motion. And the W100 Nitz's position back there is a bit redundant considering the rest of the tanks.
All right, we'll see if that comes back to bite him. Over the prime, like you said, in the corner here in that K0 position. Takes a shot there on the Pub Whisper. A little bit of damage. They're not taking any in return. So if you're Simple Tankers, then you see over the prime here, you know he's here, he's doing some damage to you. What's the best way to get him out? What's the best way to neutralize this tank?
It's really firing from the Delta Village area.
Ooh.
You gotta get on higher ground in order to fire into that depression area. Other than that, it's not very easy to get him without going head to head. We used to see teams just drive there and sacrifice a tank to make sure he died.
Wow.
That's how important it was.
Wow.
I mean, it was 1-for-1 exchange if you did it right. So it's not that much of a problem. But if you're going to start giving 1-to-1 exchanges, that actually just gets a little bit more in defense's favor as time goes on.
All right, we'll see if...
actually, you can qualify that. Depends on the map.
All right. We'll see if SIMP, the positions that they're in, can bully Simple Tankers for another victory. They still haven't taken a single scratch of damage. And there it is. 922, though, going into photo finish. Coffee Thief taking 751. Zakumi, 731. Now 1,000. They're getting shot back there from the K0 line. Delta Village control is definitely in SIMP's favor right now. Zakumi pushing up a little forward, trying to find some cover there behind the house. And Simple Tankers right now, if you're them, David, what do you do?
It's a hard question to answer, Christian.
That's probably what they're thinking right now.
Get more of a presence in Delta Village itself. It gets difficult to comment on what you would do once people get themselves into a tricky situation, especially for me, because a lot of the times I would have crafted a strategy
so that this wouldn't happen.
Well, not necessarily so this wouldn't happen, but I would have crafted a strategy where the tanks that I use have specific purposes, and there's a lot of caveats and conditions. So, like, if this happens, you do this. If this happens, you do this.
Sure.
So, the 140, for example, I would not want him to be that low. I would have saved him a little bit more, so you get 2 mediums to rotate someplace else. Then we have a little bit more rotational power and try to get the HP losses to happen on the heavies in the front instead. Or I would try and take, if the mediums have taken that much damage, I would try and get the heavies in close so that when you initiate the fight, they take the damage first.
Okay.
Try and look at the situation. It's a little bit hard given these tanks, the 215s, the 50B, the 430, all of these tanks. There's a lot of rapid firing tanks on Simple Tanker side, so you can't necessarily just aggress it. You'll get annihilated in the DPM time. So they're just lineup v lineup, kind of impossible to win.
Wow.
In the current situation.
All right.
It really depends. Simp has got to throw it pretty much to lose from where they are right now.
Well, there are 4 minutes left now, about on the clock. So Simple Tankers has that much time to make something happen. Let's see what that's going to be as the rest of Simp have now bunched up into Delta Village. I just want to reinforce that right now. Unknown one taking 600 points of damage. E63M6 taking some of that 50B. So holding on to those 4 shots. Unknown one, 931. Drynitz lighting him up, 1499. Nitz is going to finish him off there in that Waffly 100. He's going to turn and take down Zakumi too. 1 shot to finish off. 1 tank, the second for another, and he still has 1 more shot left. A little bit of cap pressure. They're going for the northern cap for Simple Tankers. Flat. And then RU251 is going to be one on that. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out for him. J-Smooth takes down EC3M6, so that's a 50B there gone. For Simple, a 2-for-1 now, as Zakumi and no one have fallen for Simple Tankers over the prime. Meanwhile, over on the side, 347 going that T22, but it looks like he should be able to pick up Coffee Thief unless Executus can come over. Executus just misses his shot. Photo finish taking some damage as well. Now Adroxus takes some damage from the RU251 from the back. Executus and the T22 picks up photo finish. And that is actually another tank falling. It is almost even until Adroxus finds Executus. And now back and forth, but still in Simp's favor. Adroxus turning, one-shotting Flak down below half health in that RU251. Dryness coming around the side as well. J-Smooth in that position. We've seen a couple tanks get in now. He's kind of sit protected by the rubble, surrounded by him, doing as much damage as he possibly can, taking the shots and over the prime, who is still alive. 4 members to Simple Tankers against the 5 to Simp. The HP over 5,000. Well, yeah, 5,000. Oh, now it's going up. 45. A lot of HP in Simp's favor. Nitz takes down Flak. J-Smooth should be going down any moment after Coffee Thief, of course. And then Pump Whisper will be going down. And now J-Smooth, 300 points of damage, and Overload Prime picks that one up, and that is going to be Simp's 4th victory now against Simple Tankers. My fantasy.
Whatever momentum Simple Tankers had going for him before that is gone. That was a helpless match that had to just feel like waiting to die.
It's like, all right, let's just do it.
Which is the worst. It is the worst.
It's like we're experiencing all these new ways of like, how do you demoralize a team? Like this, oh, you can rush into them and totally kill it. You can cap them fast. You can just make it so that they have nothing to do. And you can, I mean, so yeah, if you're on the other side of that, it cannot feel good. One thing also before we go on, I took that fantasy risk. 2 members on Simp, 2 members on Simple Tankers. It's working out. I mean,
I took 3 on it.
It can still.
I didn't expect it either.
It can still go. Simple Tankers can still come back. Anything can happen right now. But Simp does just need one more victory to close out our 3rd match of the night. So, David, what you saw there, is that just, I mean, initial stats?
Shall we review the metrics?
Concordantly.
Nice. I just love that word. Anytime it's used,
It's a great word.
It's amazing.
Great
Overlord
word.
Prime uses the T22, and it's super effective.
Oh
4,000
my
damage.
goodness!
Just sat in the corner to shoot
Oh,
stuff
good
all day long. Why
for
not?
you, Overlord.
Adroxus over here, 3352. Nit's got 2 clips. Well, he tried to get 2 clips in, fired 5 times overall. So he clipped for essentially no reason, but it was good. Killed 3 people, fired 5 times, penetrated 5 times.
Man.
Beautiful. Jay Smooth, the only one putting up
3,400.
numbers, got in that window with the eyes 7.
Still good.
34-29.
Still good. Now, I wish Overlord Prime would have told us, like he said, you know, he told Jay Smooth at the face-off, hey, every time we battled each other, it's gone into a tiebreaker. Let's make it now not be that way. Looks like they might fulfill
I thought
that.
he was going a different way with that, too. I thought he was like, let's make it a good game and go to a tiebreaker again.
Well, yeah,
and I was like, wow, the sportsmanship. And he's like, get 5 votes, son. And I'm like, whoa, okay.
It's so true. There's a whole left hook there.
That escalated
right
quickly.
at the end. Right now, though, ladies and gentlemen, potentially Simp's final match of the night. As they just need one more victory to close this one out. Can Simple Tankers come back? Hopefully for my fantasy, they can, and for them. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks. I feel so selfish.
That's everybody's selfish. SIP. 2 113s, a 215, 2 bat shats, T22 and an RU251. Simple Tankers with 50B, 215, 2 I7s, a 260, a T55A, and a T54.
T54. So no T22s coming out for Simple Tankers. We do have the one coming out for Simp. And David,
correct.
let's talk about this again. Like, why that tank is just so amazing. Like you said, you got to play it, and you just had a blast.
Yes, I did. I mean, first off, look at this thing. It's got the Shuka, it's got the sloped
It
armor
looks so
sides,
good.
it's got the utility log, a Soviet masterpiece of engineering. Dude, check that thing out.
Yeah.
Utility
You
log.
get stuck, log out.
All-purpose log,
You're
man.
good.
Just log out. If you only knew the multiple depths of hilarity on that. If you connected it to the frog out, to the log out, to the other log. Wow, just it's beautiful.
Thanks, man.
It's beautiful.
Thanks, David.
Okay, Overlord Prime. Other than that, the tank fires incredibly fast. It's like 5.6 or 7 seconds on a reload for them on these accounts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Right, because they have everything unlocked.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
nasty.
It's crazy talk. Crazy talk, good. Now, Simp already owns the southern half of the Delta Village. That's amazing for them. Unknown and Zakumi are already isolated. Jay Smooth and Flack are not in good positions at the moment. They're working on it. But Simple Tankers are getting a little bit of momentum down the 0 line. If they do take that, they will wipe out the entire side flank of Simp, leaving them the only possible option to drive directly into these 2 heavies sitting there in the 6 line while they get racked up from the side by Pub Whisperer. If Simple Tankers can see that, then they will have this game in the palm of their hands shortly. If they don't, they're going to get whittled down for a long time while Simp caps.
All right, 20 set. Well, below now, 16 seconds on the clock.
Time.
Simple Tankers needs to do something quickly, or this is going to be over to Simp. Photo finish, taking some damage there. Some shots there going onto the cap, but not anyone connecting onto Nits or Dry Nits, who are the members. And now Simple Tankers pushing out. Crimson Corsair taking some damage there. Jason as well, finding shot. Nits now is lit up, so the team knows where he's at, and there he goes, getting lit up. 923 points of damage there, but Executives dominated. There he goes, falling in that T54, a tank down for Simple Tankers. Here, so maybe they can come back in this one, but Crimson is going to be able to scoot right out of there. Still not taking, whoa, just barely missing a shot. Adroxus takes down a no one. Meanwhile, 5 seconds on the clock. J-Smooth again has to push out to try to get the reset here. Dryness, and it's going to be the focus. He gets lit up, but meanwhile, Publisher and Zakumi are both the focus for Simp. They've decided to give up the cap pressure and just take what looks like is rightfully theirs, and that is 2 tanks, a T55A and an IS-7. Zakumi for 35 points of damage. 347 now. It's a matter of time before he gets blown up like you just saw. The Delta's Village going over to Simple Tankers, and a lot of members of SIMP are low. And a Coffee Thief letting his final one go. If he can get out, maybe try to find a reload. Nope, he can't get out anywhere. 703 points of damage are going to that 50B. Flak trying to back up.
OP going to come in and close this out.
Extremely slowly here. Overlord Prime, that T22, the tank we've been talking about so much tonight. There's one shot. He's not going to be able to get photo finish, but he knows where the final member is, and the final member is on reload. But now, if Coffee Thief is up, he might be in some trouble here.
Kill him in one clip.
Here we go. There's one. This is one. 326 goes into Coffee Thief. Coffee Thief aims at Overlord Prime. 307 goes in. Now 426. The back and forth.
Nicely done.
Overlord Prime, though. Oh, making the shot. Missed right into the side of the hill. There's another one. Overlord Prime just taking it to him in the Delta Village.
Look at that bounce.
Just showing his amazing play in that T22. Adrox is coming in to take the glory, and that is SIMP's 5th victory against Simple Tankers to end out our 3rd match of the night. SIMP on fire right now, really showing their dominance, and they're a team that is tied for 2nd place. So with that victory, that is huge for them in the standings.
We shall measure their performance.
Vis-a-vis.
You're the architect, aren't you?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So this is my joy. Overlord Prime and E63M6 did a bunch of work. Drynets died in an RU-51. That's pretty normal. Everybody else almost broke 2,000, which is crazy talk. And then Executus. This is my sadness. He is my pick from Simple Tankers. And I was like, you know what? We can make this go to a tiebreaker where Executus just kills 7 tanks in a row and a row and a row, and I'd be fine with it as long as they weren't Overlord Prime and E63M6. But that's not how it worked out. Well, worth mentioning that Flak in his 215 did 32-30.
Yeah, so
32-30.
a lot of damage there coming out for them, but just
great tank.
not enough to take it from SIMP. So congratulations to them with another victory. Ladies and gentlemen, our 3rd match is done. Our 4th and final match, 07 versus Ping 999, is coming right up. Don't go anywhere.